So when you look at the history of the internet, one of the things that it's proven very good at is aggregating information. And then through social, it proved very good at aggregating people and their identities. The problem was, how do you get merchants to get their information so as to connect those other two things together? And it turned out the thing is that you needed a call center, of all things, an old-fashioned call center. And what Groupon really figured out is that you could efficiently attract merchants onto the web and then provide that spark of intent and transaction by giving a very, very good deal.
So a lot of people say Groupon's about online commerce, but it really isn't. It's about offline commerce. It's about using online, i.e. the internet, and linking that to brick and mortar businesses.
So we didn't realize what a breakthrough Groupon was going to be in a way to get, for merchants to get their business on the map. And I guess the aha moment was when we started talking to them after they used the service and realized how much value it added.
Forget social commerce, local commerce is a $1 trillion market. And the best part about Groupon is it's not a behavior change. Today you go to your local hamburger joint and you buy a hamburger. All we're doing is reducing the coefficient of friction to doing those transactions for the marketing people at that merchant and for us as users finding that merchant. And at the end of the day, we're making the pie bigger for everyone by creating that efficiency. You can only do this with scale. And then once you have all those things, then you can make preferences. You can actually customize for both the merchant and for the user to create that great one-on-one experience. And that, my friends, is where scale matters.
The guys at NEA in particular have been either prescient in their advice or helped me see how to get from one place to another. You know, I credit Peter with helping to push us to move faster when we already thought we were moving fast. I remember we were launching 1 city a month, and he said, how do you launch 4 cities a month? Just go through the mental exercise. And it was almost breathtakingly insulting to think that it was possible to move faster. But when we sat down and talked about it and thought about how we would develop the org to accommodate that type of growth, we started to see that it was actually potentially possible. And here we are, a couple years later, launching dozens of cities every month.
One of the great things about social commerce is it's brought a lot of people on the web and got them interconnected. It provides a natural opportunity for small merchants and small and medium-sized businesses. The thing is that it's a new form of marketing, and it's a challenging one because there's so many channels. One of the great things that's emerging in a company like Sprout Social is the ability to become a dashboard with which you can interact with those networks of people almost on a one-on-one basis, yet across Foursquare, Facebook, Twitter, you name it. And it's incredibly powerful, again, because they're building one-to-one relationships with those users in an efficient way.
I think the reason that Sprout Social resonates so well with the small businesses is because we built it from the beginning with that context in mind. So rather than just presenting charts and graphs on mentions on Twitter and these social analytics, we're really putting it in a very actionable context for them. So it behaves very much like your email. You know who should be responded to, you know which messages require follow-up, and it's very easy to engage with the audience. We make that one-to-one connection with the consumer the forefront of the product.
There's that famous saying that says, do as I say, not as I do. And one thing you could add to that is do as I share. And I think that's what the social web really empowers, is that when you share something, it has relevance. And that relevance can translate into better search information, better advertising information, better everything information. And we've got several companies that are taking advantage of that, like TabedOut, like ClearSpring, like Compass Labs, that are really capturing what people are doing on the web, not just where they're surfing, not just what they're searching for, but what they're actually sharing with the people that they think are important, which is massive.
Over the last year, over half of all US online shoppers actually stop by and look for information on Facebook, Twitter, or other places before they buy. We look at social media as actually one big, large, living focus group. So you have a focus group of all of your customers. So not only do we know whether someone liked what you're doing right now, bought the product, and kind of did whatever they're supposed to do with it right now, we also know over time what their views are. How have competitors' points of view, competitors' commercials, competitors' kind of information impacted them. So advertisers increasingly look to us not just for ROI on a specific campaign, but for helping them with their bigger marketing challenge. Who are my customers and how do I best connect and reach them?
One of the fascinating parts of the internet is it's actually driven people into the web, right? And you almost worry that your kids are going to get absorbed by the web and into this ether. But one of the funny parts about the internet's becoming the fact that it's actually drawing people outside the web for the first time. And the reason for that is the efficiencies the internet is creating.
If you think about it, finding care is very local. And so you depend oftentimes on word of mouth. If you go to a church or a library, usually will post up a sign and those little things that you rip off, right? And you trust that when you're trying to find a caregiver. The reality is we've made that process easier and more simpler and efficient locally online. There's actually been a shift not only in technology but also in consumer behavior and the adoption of the internet and online marketplaces. We saw 15 years ago that happened with job sites. And we wondered why anybody would try and hire employees over the internet. And then 10 years ago with dating websites. And now we go to weddings where people find each other online, and it's not foreign for many people. And now with the onset of care.com, you can find care for your loved ones through the internet. And it's not a strange concept because we're more comfortable and we're embracing the internet as a way to efficiently find and match with people when we need them.
Personalization and deeper relevance to the customer is something that many of these companies, Groupon included, are working on. Now what we're seeing is the integration of mobile. That's becoming more relevant. You're seeing it at Groupon, you're seeing it at Looped, you're seeing it at Tabbed Out, many of our companies. And what mobile does is it brings into the picture the element of time. So it's not just about what I want as a consumer, it's about what I want when I want it.
So what we're doing with Tabbed Out is enabling the end user to open, view their check throughout the night, and then ultimately pay directly from their phone. Tabbed Out brings a great deal of value, and it's all through a very simple click of a button for the end user. At the end of the day, it's about turning more tables, it's about making more money in the peak hours for the bars, and that's where it resonates very well with our merchants.
Mobile has really created a fantastic opportunity and challenge. The key is that you have to be able to inject mobile and the internet at the right time, at the right place, with the right preferences. In other words, relevance really matters.
But now we're moving to Location 2.0, where we all have better experiences in the real world because we carry this device with us. It tells us what to do, where to go, what to order at this restaurant, the new person we should meet up with. And we have a better experience in the real world than we would have otherwise because we have this bridge between the virtual world and the real world, and that's very powerful. And we're hugely excited about it. We will be successful to the degree that we can help local businesses make more money. And we're very focused on how we help them reach customers, new customers, make existing customers into better customers. And they all want to do this. They're very excited about working with us and using mobile and location to bring customers in the door.
So we're really interested in finding a way to inject Groupon into the daily lives of people. Every time that they want to go out and they're hungry or they're bored, if there's a way that we can become part of the fabric of that local ecosystem. And we'll be releasing products over the next few months to that reflect that mission.
The concept of real-time marketing, if you will, and towards the consumer, is one that's embryonic. So we're at the tip of the iceberg right now. I think it's going to be a huge area going forward, but this movie hasn't played out. So we're just beginning to understand the implications. It's a powerful, powerful concept, but it's going to have broad applications, or implications, I should say, on the advertising world, on the marketing world, and on customer management. And we're just starting to learn those lessons. I think there's going to be lots of Me Too companies created, and we're going to have to see who the winners are. We think we bet on some of them.